Welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this, my friends, is the Thunder Show, aka the internet's most passionate wine program. And as you can see, I'm in a hotel room now, ironically, in the same hotel in LA as the hotel episode the other day. So I'm not going to go into the little mini bar here and pull out another Clos du Bois. Let me just make sure. Actually, I didn't do this. Oh yeah. Clearly, they didn't see the episode where we panned the Clos du Bois Chard selection. Let's link up the hotel episode for anybody who hasn't seen it. But today, what we're going to do is, I decided I want to do another episode. You know, can't miss out. Got to hustle. Have my flip cam. Big ups to them. And I went to John and Peter's, and I bought some wine, which is a fun experience. Now I understand what everybody likes. I mean, I haven't been a wine shopper in a long time. It's addicting. It's like fun. I'm like, ooh, look at this label. Look at this label. A lot of brands popping up. A lot of California brands at John and Peter's. You check those guys out. Good retailers here in LA. JohnandPete's.com. I said Peter's. I'm a very official kind of guy. Having a good time here in LA. Just got done reading all the comments, or not all of them, but quite a few of the comments from yesterday's episode with Jake and Mir from College Humor. Big up to those guys. I know it went over extremely poorly. As a matter of fact, that's why I picked up the Sucks Shiraz, because that's what 90% of the people leaving comments felt about the show, maybe 96%. I apologize mainly to Jake and Amir because I hate the bashing they took. I could take the bashing. I got the emails. I read the comments. I read all the blog posts about jumping the shark. I get it. I understand. People are passionate about the show, and I appreciate that. I'm not going to say much more than this. Thank you so much for caring about this show, enough to leave your comments. It hurts when you let down people, but I think those guys are comical geniuses. Maybe the format didn't work out. I thought it did. Plenty of people did. Many didn't. So I'll leave it at this. You try different things. I do pump out a show every day, and that's that. But we did pick up the Sucks Shiraz, so it did inspire the next move. Now, we got 3 wines here today. 2 on screw tops, which are a great play, by the way, for when you're traveling, because I did ask for a corkscrew. Do I have it here? Yeah, asked for a corkscrew. They brought one up. I also asked for glasses, as you might remember last time we used a tumbler. So it's fun to have wine glasses here today. Let's get right into the first wine. That's what we do. Molly Duker, 2008 Verdejo, the violinist. Really pretty package. $24 at John and Pete's. 90 points J. Miller. Verdejo is a very interesting varietal that makes a lot of noise in Portugal and is actually a big component to Madeira, a long overdue subject here on the Thunder Show, so I promise we'll get to that. No spit bucket. Let me see. Give me 1 second. So, you know, yeah, Madeira is a great play, something that I think is massively underrated as a dessert wine, and something we definitely will look to here we go, little ice bucket type thing, that we'll look to cover on Wine Library TV in the future. Anyway, $24, pretty expensive for Verdejo, but Molly Duker, big brand, very sought after stuff, great press, has long been a darling of the Wine Advocate and Robert Parker. The Shiraz is cult-like thing, then it gets into some higher level stuff. We've done Molly Duker on the show before. Some great color on this Verdejo. I like Verdejo, very straw, melon, great varietal. I think it could do a lot of damage by itself, and definitely into Portugal, you know, Spain, areas of the world. But I think California's, you know, the Scolium Project is a producer that I think rocks it out with this. 15.5 alcohol. None of these wines from Molly Duker are ever bashful. Let's give it a snippy sniff. Great nose, very pretty nose actually. Again, really nice kind of like cantaloupe meets pear on the nose. Good fruit, little straw action. Let me give it a whirl. Nice wine, big and loaded. Just gorgeous, like pear juice flavor. Like if you just took a pear and just squeezed the living crap out of it. I feel like that's what's coming across a little bit here. I do get a little heat on the back end, 15.5 and room temperature. You're going to expect it, but not as much as I expected. And if you chill this wine, I think you could probably go away from that. Great acidity in the back end. I get a complete, like, straw attack. Like an army of straw. They picked up out of the hay, They came with their guns like an army, just marched at me and went directly into my mouth with that pear juice. So you're getting that pear, little melon, definitely straw action for sure, which is very atypical. Let me give it one more shot. No wristband. I like this wine. I've been tough on Molly Dukers. I've always felt they've been a little bit over the top, but this one is really doing it for me. I like the acid. I like white wine in general. Are we ever going to get to a place where white wine can be respected as much as red wine? This whole notion, if you're just getting into wine, or if you're a year or two in, this whole notion of red wine is serious and the real stuff and white wine is entry-level stuff is absurd. This is another example of why that's true. 90 J Miller, I'm going to tag team you up with Jay Miller. That's not me tagging him into the ring. I'm with you, Jay. I'm going 90 plus on this. I like it a lot. I like the back end acid. This one will go extremely well with, you know, grilled fish, salmon, things of that nature. Maybe a little pigeon that my brother-in-law Alex and I had for my father-in-law Peter's. Happy birthday again. Birthday the other day. We had a little, oh no, not pigeon, partridge. Excuse me. I think this wine would go extremely well with a partridge dinner. And for 24 bones, I actually think it's a little bit of a play. And I don't know if John and Pete's is a discounter. I don't know where this is ranging these days, but I kind of like it. I kind of like it a lot. Kudos to Molly Duker, pumping out a very good white wine for the price. I like the body, 3 to 4 years aging, I believe, in this with the acid in the back end. I think it could go a little bit longer than most people think about Verdejo, and that's a very, very good start to the Thunder Show in a hotel room as we travel. Let's move on. Let's go right now to one of my favorite all-time wines. As soon as I saw this, I snagged it. Sean H. Thackeray, one of California's really interesting producers, comes out with a wine called Pleiades. This is the Pleiades, blend. It's a non-vintage wine, and here you go. It's $23, and it's a 2008, because on the back it says in January 2008. The 16th edition. This is the 16th. That's what you see right. I don't know if you're going to make it out right here, but the XV1, 16. So Pleiades 16th Cuvée. It says in the back, the 16th edition, bottled in January of 08, so this is newly bottled, includes, and this would be in order of what is most dominant in the wine. So if you've ever read, here's a little fun fact. If you've ever read the blend in the back of the bottle, it's going to always, by law, have to tell you which one is the most of. It's like an ingredients play. Syrah, Barbera, Italian winemaker play, Carignan, Petit Syrah, Sangiovese, and Viognier, to name but a few. So they get a little frisky in there. I'm going to use a different glass. Why not? A little bit lighter in color, by the way. As I'm pouring this, is extremely light, actually, in color. And again, maybe I'll just grab it. Whoops. Maybe you can see the color coming through. It's a little bit lighter. Just turned it off. I'm not good with these electronic things. I think Mott just saved his job. Anyway, let's give it a sniffy sniff. Fruit's kind of challenging. Let me just give it one more sniffy sniff. I get a little bit of raspberry coming through. A little tar action. A little tar bubble on the nose as well. A little cranberry coming through now a little bit. It's opening up a little bit as I swirly. A little bit. A little grind. Grind this wine a little bit. I'm going to grind it. Get a little sniffy. Yeah, a little bit of cranberry coming through. A little chocolate. Let's give it a whirl. Pleasant fruit coming through. A little bit like a, oh, wow, almost like a radish kind of flavor coming through on the back end. It tastes a little radish, almost like a radish dipped in real raspberry jam. So like a red radish, dip it in raspberry jam, give it a little bite, I get a little bit of that radish on the back end. Huh, almost like horseradish-esque. I kind of like it. Blackberries, and cranberries are definitely defined in this wine. It's a medium body play. Would love to have like pig snout and ears with this wine. Let's give it a whirl. I'm not kidding. Definitely a pork kind of play. Not a bad effort. Has some good tannins on the back end. Drinking extremely well for such a young wine. It's a 2007 basically. Because again, non-vintage, just remember that. So they can use other years, you know, so if they had some '06 Barbera in a barrel and they wanted to blend it, they could. That's why it's not vintage-driven wine. Again, very light in color, almost like Pinot Noir Gamay-like in color. Would last for about another 3 to 4 years, in my opinion. Solid stuff. You can see with the body language and the tone. You know, when I bring the thunder, I get excited. This is not complete thunder. I wouldn't call it a drizzle. It's like a solid rainstorm. I'm going to go 88 points on this wine. It's serviceable. Again, at the price that I paid, which was $22.99, I'd probably give it a pass. I'm going to call 310-657-3080, see if I can get my money back. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I kind of like it. But it's a little thin and lacking charisma and depth. And that, to me, is a little bit of a problem with this wine. Let's move on. Sucks. SUXX 2006 Shiraz. This wine, folks, rolls in at, let's see, sucks 20 bones. It is 91 points. J. Miller. Let's give it a rinsey rinse. It's also very interesting. It's 15.9 listed, but in the review, J. Miller says that Dan Phillips, who, by the way, is an absolute marketing genius from Grateful Palate. If you ever see this little logo, Grateful Palate, you know you're going to get some big, big wines. Is partners with Chris Ringland. The producer of this wine really isn't sucks. It is something that's called R Wines, right there. They make a lot of different wines, and it's a partnership between Chris Ringland, a world-famous winemaker, and Dan Phillips, this amazing importer, marketer of Australian wines. 20 bones, 91 points. This wine is 15.9 alcohol, but Dan Phillips admits to J. Miller it's closer to 16, 17. I mean, we're pushing dessert wine quality, dessert wine alcohol levels, excuse me, not quality. They really want to bust balls with this. They just want to crush it, a hedonistic, over-the-top, just completely gaudy, like gold-plated, you know, like gold-plated spoons, audacity, over-the-topness, forget thunder, like atomic bomb level fruit. I've always been a proponent of, whoa, relax, but there's time and place, you know what I mean? I mean, who am I to say this? For my palate, gets a little too much, but 1998, 1999, 2000, 2001 vintage, I was all about it. So for my own palate, got too much. That being said, as I've been off it for 5 or 6 years, maybe you Vaynerchuks know, I've been getting a little bit more seduced by the fruit bombs lately. Let's see if that trend continues. A little snippy snip. You know, considering that's a monster, I'm not smelling that much like insanity. I get blueberries, I get blackberries for sure. One more sniffy snip. Good fruit, like good ripeness, nothing that really scares me yet. Let's give it a whirl. Good fruit, nice black candy. It's not as obnoxious as I expected it to be. One more shot. Very viscous on the palate. Almost like I took a paintbrush and painted up the palate to that thick. I almost feel like I'm biting the wine. It's chewy. This wine's extremely chewy. And I don't mean, like, what was that? That was an awful Chewbacca impression. I'm sorry. I'm pretty upset about that. But almost, you know, very chewy. I feel like I'm biting a Charleston chew for a couple reasons. One, because it's a little chocolatey, and two, because it's chewy. It's just, you want to bite this wine. It's very viscous. Big wine. Very popular, I think, with a certain drinking demo. And that's kind of intriguing to me. This is definitely a controversial wine. This is one way or the other. You're either in or you're out. That was, again, another awful impression. I'm sorry. If you get that one, you're watching Bravo. Anyway, oh, not anymore. Anyway, good wine. Project Runway. Anyway, good wine. Solid. Length. Big finish. Big, bright blackberry. Really interesting, like almost like black raspberry flavors, which is very different than red raspberries. And episode 148. And not as as hot as I expected. I expected this to be a monster heat bomb. It is not. I think Mr. Ringland, who's an amazing winemaker, once again is able to control the audacity of the fruit and alcohol. I'm kind of liking this wine. It's not totally my style, not my normal style, but for 20 bones on a what the heck, let's just drink some wine until we like pass out kind of night that you and your girlfriend or wife can do, just chilling, got nowhere to go, no driving intended, you want to drink a bottle, this could be a lot of fun. This is like a fun friend that you invite, let's say, once a month to your house, or let's say on the internet and watching a wine show once every day. So I like this wine. It's won me over. I've been trending towards bigger fruit. Your palate is allowed to evolve and change and go up and down. It's okay. Just because you're an old world Pinot guy doesn't mean you can't enjoy a different style once in a while. Break out of the mold, people. I like this wine, and I'm proud to say I love the sucks. And the reason we brought it is because you thought yesterday's episode sucked, but this wine doesn't. Sucks. I'm going 90 points, 1 point lower to Miller. I think it's a very fun fruit bomb. You need to know what you're getting yourself into. And about a year ago, I probably scored this wine 85 points on WineLibraryTV. But your palate changes, and I kind of like this wine. Let me get one more shot. Okay, 89. The candy just gets me a little. Question of the day. Yesterday's episode, train wreck in the comments. Today's show, fun on the road. You know what? Leave a comment. You know what? If you ever wanted to leave a comment, do it tonight. I'm going to read it. Thank you so much. You, with a little bit of me, good show, by the way. 90, 89, 88, good wines. Spent like $75, hopefully, right? You